And now it's time for Windy City Sports Talk. And your host, Ryan Young. Hello, Chicago! Welcome to this live Tuesday edition of Windy City Sports Talk. For October the 11th, I am Ryan Young. For the next hour, we're going to recap and preview everything in the world of sports. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at ringside_rep. It also goes through to my Facebook page, which is under Ryan Young. 1:30 in the morning. You stay up, but I mean, Cubs unable to do it against the Giants. I lasted. Watched it with the big galoot. He gets home at about 10:45. He almost got a full game in, as that game was slow. But Jake Arrieta's home run, 3-0. I was already popping the cork. The one time I've ever gotten confident, and I'm already thinking, okay, I can go to Dick's, buy the shirt. Then I can go over here and get ready to plan to go to a possible NLCS game. Then they get 1 run, and they get 2 runs. Then the Connor Gillespie strikes. Eventually they make it 5-3. Bryant hits the home run. I'm like, okay, we're back. But you still felt when that happened that the Cubs were not in this game. You felt that this one was going to go to the Giants. The Cubs were able to get to Madison Bumgarner early, so the Cubs lose a final of 6-5. The Cubs still have a 2-1 lead. Now, there's a million different directions I want to go with this, so I'm going to try to do this in as orderly a fashion as I can. First off, with Madison Bumgarner. The point of this game was to get him out. They did what the Mets couldn't do, and that was be able to take pitches. I believe they were saying a little over 20 pitches he threw in 3 innings against the Mets. I think he had that in the first inning against the Cubs. So the Cubs made him work. They got a double by Bryant in the first. Things were going okay. They hit then the 3-run homer by Arrieta. You're like, okay, this is it. They get him out of the game into their bullpen. That's exactly what the Cubs wanted. Nothing can go wrong from here. Then everything kind of did go wrong because the Giants came out. They were at home. They're down 3-0. I think in that 8th inning, Joe Madden might have micromanaged just a little too much. Yes, Albert Almora missed the ball right after, of course, a diving attempt, which Jason Hayward was just double switched out. Then he makes a big catch to save the game inning before it ended. So, I mean, this game went 100 different ways. It went up and down. But, of course, the Cubs do lose. But the thing that irritates me the most about this, and the reason it hurts, is you did what you were supposed to do. You got Madison Bumgarner out of the game. But unfortunately, that wasn't enough. That has to be enough. You have to win that game. You got the best pitcher that no one's been able to beat out of there. Arrieta was pitching good. Then you're supposed to go in a perfect world. Strop, Rondon, Chapman. Okay, so the 8th inning, you have Brandon Belt leading off. You have Travis Wood stay in. You know, you don't off the top of your head. If you're thinking about bringing Chapman in, I'm sure they were waiting for more outs to be in the inning. But why not put Chapman instead of giving him an inning where there's damage done with there's 2 on? And why not just give him the full inning if you're going to give him a 6-out save? Now, I know it was under because the 2 guys were on, but still, do that. Strop pitched good, Rondon did not. And then, of course, you saw, this is only, I believe, the second time this has happened where Chapman did not pitch well. And I believe the first time when I was there was July 30th against the Mariners. And it just seemed like it seems like he comes back to redeem himself. Montgomery pitched fairly well. That 13th inning, what can you do? They got a guy on second and the double, and that was it. You felt even when the Cubs tied it with Chris Bryant, the bats were not going to keep you from winning this game. That game was the Giants. Once Connor Gillespie did it again, this game belonged to the San Francisco Giants, and they got it. Now you got to think, what happens next? Well, first off, in this game, like I said, I signed up for the whole thing, and I got Derek Law, which before yesterday I knew about Law because he pitched in the game I was at on Saturday, and I said to the guy sitting next to me, I'm like, I wonder if Order's coming in next. But besides that, no one knew who this buffoon was. And he's sitting there waving the towel, acting like my dad thought he was on something. And maybe he was. But hopefully the Cubs get a chance to get a crack at him again, because I don't know why Fox was so enamored with showing him waving the goddamn towel. There's 1 million people in that, well, I shouldn't say 1 million, but there's 40,000 people waving damn towels, and you show the buffoon that came in, and then he's doing the fist bumping, and he's doing this and that, and you know what? Okay, we get it. Okay? Wave the towel. You're a player. You're going to be pumped up. Yeah, I get it. But every other pitch showing him, give it a rest. And besides that, and then you also the commercials. Apparently, and the Heckler posted this on Facebook last night, and I definitely agreed. The same 5 commercials. You saw the Gillette one. The one I posted on there about was, if I have to see that guy spill the nachos on the guy with the Red Sox shirt on again, it's just complete. I mean, if I can't no more, and then eventually they showed it one more time, but it was just the same commercials. And I mean, with 100 double switches by Joe Madden and just constant, ugh. So I think, so that's that. That's the game, and I think a game that I think the Cubs knew they should have won. I was ready for them to pop the champagne. And Rizzo, I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, right now, him and Russell right now are struggling. This team is not a World Series caliber team, as long as these guys get hot. They need to get hot. Now, if you want to think about it from the Giants' perspective, and I was listening to Colin Cowherd, which is probably the last person people should listen to, but he's pretty much and summed it all up. It was the Cubs' way versus the Giants' way. The Cubs' way of blowing it, the Giants' way of winning it. Well, you know what? I don't care, Colin Cowherd. Kiss my ass. You know, and then Dan Patrick. I mean, people want to see 5 games, obviously, and they want to see the Cubs ratings. Fox does, because they want to see a big market in there. Cleveland, Toronto, I guess, is that considered a big market because it's the whole freaking country of Canada? But then you have Washington. I mean, Los Angeles, Chicago would be fun. Which they're not, they're down, backed up against the wall. That game begins at 4. We'll be previewing that in a little bit. But they, and the Cubs are getting calls too. That Rizzo play was easily safe, and then they review it and they couldn't, and they didn't do it. My dad's like, oh, he's going to be safe, and they were. And it really meant, I thought it was very weird, and my dad agreed, that the Cubs are getting all the calls in this series. The umpires gave them a couple, and within that, they still couldn't get the job done. So I just hope that's not the air out of the balloon. But hey, I've been saying this all day. I'm going to say it again. If the Giants, after being down 3-0 last night, if the Giants down 3-0 last night and come back and win this series 3-2, they deserve it. If they can get to the back end of that bullpen last night, stop John Lackey, who's tremendously clutch tonight, and then beat Leicester at Wrigley on Thursday, then they deserve this series and they're destined. And it's going to be another even year because I don't think anyone's going to stop them because they just have it. The Cubs need to be able to take their opportunities where they can get them. They had it last night being up 3-0 and they couldn't get it done. That's what concerns me. The bats have not been good. It's time to get off your ass, start playing well. The pitchers can't score all your runs. John Lackey's not going to hit a 3-run homer tonight. John Lackey's not a hitting pitcher. You never thought Kyle Hendricks was either, but still. So the Cubs lose Game 3, 6-5. They look to finish the series tonight, fly back to Chicago, and get ready for the NLCS on Saturday. I'm trying to plan my NLCS, either go for Saturday or Sunday, but I'm not buying tickets unless, obviously, if the Cubs advance. Obviously. But I'm not putting the cart in front of the horse yet. The Cubs need a win. And I don't know if I can handle doing tomorrow's show, or Thursday's show for that matter, knowing a Game 5. Because I was talking about it, I believe, the first month of this show. that I've never had to where a game was so much on the line. Yeah, the one-game playoff against Pittsburgh, but when you're up 2-0, you need to be able to win, and they haven't been able to. At least last night. Let's do it in San Francisco. Or, I mean, it's still intimidating. You got to think for the Giants to have to come in and beat the Cubs at Wrigley, which they haven't done yet. But what will happen now when you got Johnny Cueto against Jon Lester? But that game isn't official yet because the Cubs have a chance to win today. So, okay, so that's that. We'll be previewing Game 4 in a little bit. Also last night, Indians beat the Red Sox in Game 3. They sweep. They win at 4-3. Tomlin over Buchholz. Allen with the save. Red Sox made it close. They took Big Papi out for a pinch run, but they still did a tremendous job. Did Cleveland to be able to stop them? They did a great job. And Indians sweep. So it was a very fast ALDS for the American League. And you thought so possibly for the National League, but that hasn't been the case as they're both going to Game 4s. But the Indians have something. And maybe this team's going to be a good one. And will they be able to last? We're not sure. Toronto's a beast. Toronto announced today that Marco Estrada will be their Game 1 pitcher on Friday in the American League Championship Series. So, we'll have to see, but I think that was a good one. Of course, Big Papi gone. They did a thing I didn't get a chance to stick around because it was ending as the Cub game was starting, and didn't really stick around. But obviously, Big Papi, great career, won 3 championships. What he did in 2004, what he did after the Boston Marathon bombing, he was there. He's going to be missed in baseball. And again, baseball's losing a lot of guys. It's going to be a whole new era. You go from the Big Papi, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter type thing, now where you got the new brand of guys like Harper and Trout, and I guess you can throw Chris Bryant in that mix, but no one really talks about him because he's not the outgoing, speak your mind kind of guy. But, so the Red Sox had eliminated that was my World Series pick for the American League. My brackets are all messed up. I don't think I got one right so far, unless the Giants win the series. Let's see, where's my playoff? Here it is. So that's that. So congratulations to the Indians. They will go on. They face the, like I said, Blue Jays at Progressive Field on Friday. And that's a best of 7, of course. And the 2 NL series are tonight. We could have 2 champagnes popped and have a National League Championship Series by the next time we're on. So I don't know. And then finally, Dodgers and the Nationals yesterday. That game was going on as we spoke yesterday. And the Dodgers win that one of a final, or the Nationals win at 8-3. Solis gets the win at 1-0. Maeda gets a loss at 0-1. I think that's a big game for the Nationals. I think they needed to come out and definitely step up in Los Angeles. Jason Worth had a big game. Ryan Zimmerman had a big hit. So they got the job done. They needed to take that advantage away and get a win on the road. And that's like the difference in the Cubs series where no one's been able to get a win on the road. And, I mean, if it doesn't happen tonight, I hope it doesn't, that trend continues on Thursday. So but again, a big win for the Nationals. Their game today starts at 4, and they try to win them. But the key thing is they got Clayton Kershaw going on the bump tonight. They're going him on, again, he pitched Friday, he got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days rest, which is okay. Because, I mean, what if that series for the Cubs goes 5, do they throw Madison Bumgarner in Game 5? But I think the Cubs prove that they can hit him and wait him out. It's going to be a raucous crowd at Wrigley if it is, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that. We still got tonight. I've heard, listen, people that calm my nerves are Dave Kaplan and Len Casper. They both were able to calm me down and say, you know what? It's only one game. It's not the end of the world. And like I said, if the Giants win this series, they absolutely deserve it. It's not the Cubs choking, it's just the Giants being able to do what they need to do. And the Cubs not being able to drive the knife through the heart of this Giants team. Which is, we'll see. But again, so the Dodgers win or lose to the Nationals last night. Or yesterday afternoon, 8-3. So that series, again, both series could come to an end tonight. And then we get ready, because I was thinking, okay, Cubs are up 3-0. 3 of the 4 series are already going to be done. I mean, we got hockey that starts tomorrow, but really don't want to get in depth with hockey until you really are till at least Chicago's portion of the playoffs are done, which hopefully isn't for another 3 weeks. So, you're not going to win every game. And going into this game, I thought the Cubs were going to lose. But when you got Bumgarner beat, so close. So, again, the Cubs lose 6-5. They're up 2-1 over the Giants. Dodgers lose to the Nationals. Nationals have a 2-1 series lead. And the Indians sweep the Red Sox and advance to the American League Championship Series. That's all the playoffs recapping for last night. And we're going to preview the 2 games tonight. But first, the Windy City Sports Minute. This is your Windy City Sports Minute for Tuesday, October the 11th. Well, unfortunately, the Cubs could not advance to the NLCS last night after a 3-0 lead and a Jake Arrieta home run. The Giants came roaring back. They had the lead 4-3, then eventually 5-3. Brian, a 2-run homer in the 9th. But eventually, the Joe Panik RBI double in the 13th would do it for the Cubs. Game 4 tonight is going to be a matchup with the Cubs, as it is going to be as John Lackey going to go to the bump against Matt Moore. And also, the Cleveland Indians advance to the ALCS on a win. Big Papi's career comes to an end with the Boston Red Sox. And also in news, Dodgers will send Clayton Kershaw to the bump after pitching on Friday. He will pitch today to avoid elimination against the Nationals. The Cubs, of course, 8:30 on Fox Sports 1. Dodgers Nationals will be at 4 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. That is your Windy City Sports Minute. Now back to Windy City Sports Talk. Welcome back here to Windy City Sports Talk for this live Tuesday as we get ready for prep you for NLDS Games 4 tonight. As I was looking at my bracket, the American Leagues was a complete debacle. I got everything in the wild card right, but I got the Red Sox are done. I had them going to the World Series. I had them facing the Rangers in the CS, and they got eliminated. So my National League can still be okay, but I mean both my teams that I picked, the Dodgers and Giants, to go to the championship series in the National League. Again, I did pick the Giants to upset the Cubs. Both them teams are down 2-1. So we'll see if my absolute predictions were completely off, which I'm already. My American League is okay. So we got some other interesting storylines out of sports today. Colin Kaepernick has been announced he will start this week against the Buffalo Bills for the San Francisco 49ers. Again, Blaine Gabbert has not been good for the Niners, and I think they've just not been, I mean, obviously the whole hubbubaloo, but now let's see what he can do on the field and see if he can not sit on his ass for the game and get sacked. So we'll see how that goes. Again, that'll be against Buffalo this week. And then not really any other news. I believe someone on the Blackhawks is out 4 to 6 weeks. Again, the Blackhawks will drop the puck tomorrow against the Blues. We'll do a preview tomorrow of that, and that'll all depend on how the playoffs go. If there's a lot of celebration and excitement, then obviously we will eventually get to that tomorrow in our half-hour show, but I know right now playoffs are kind of taking over, and no matter what, the Cubs will be alive tomorrow. But it depends if it'll be 2-2 or get ready for the championship series. And like we said, the championship series could be ready, could be set by the time we come on the air tomorrow. And if the Cubs and Giants do play Game 5, Scott Beatty, I believe, will be joining me on Thursday to talk about that. And then, of course, Thursday's show will be mainly that. And then, of course, who knows what goes on from then. It will be an absolute basket case. The one time I got confident last night at 3-0 with Jake Arrieta on the mound, the one time I get confident, and there it went. God dang it. So I'm not going to be confident at all tonight. We're losing. I'm just joking, people. Okay, here we go. Let's preview Nationals-Dodgers Game 4. That one starts in about 40 minutes. 4 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. It'll be Joe Ross at 7-5 with a 343 against Clayton Kershaw. 12-4 with a 160. Now, he has been an absolutely tremendous season for him. Again, he was hurt most of the season. But now you talk about from the playoff aspect of it. Now he's coming in. He pitched on Friday in the opener, and the Dodgers won. Right now, that's the Dodgers' only win. But now, does that put their back against the wall for if they do win today? To have a Game 5, which I believe their Game 5 would be on Thursday also, just like if the Cubs win it. So I think when you put it in that perspective, yeah, you get 4, but then you get to Game 5, and then what the heck do you do? Do you go with, Urias has not pitched. Do you go with Urias in Game 5, a guy that I believe he made his Major League debut this year, therefore he does not have any playoff experience? Or do you, I think if you're a Dodger fan, you're more worried about Game 5 already, because I think Kershaw's going to handle this one. I think you're going to go 5. But can you get the job done? And can they win it? And I think Game 5 is their worry, because I think tonight Clayton Kershaw gets the job done, he wins, and gets the win, and then they have a Game 5 in D.C. Then I think, you go Urias, who pitched Game 2 for them? Who pitched Game 2 for the Dodgers? Was it? It was Rich Hill. It got rained out. The game was played on Sunday. So to be able to pitch, that's 4 days rest too. So if you go back to Rich Hill, but do you really trust him? The only guy, if I'm a Dodger fan, that I would trust for a Game 5, but you need to win Game 4 to get to Game 5. I understand that. That's what I keep saying about the Giants. Do they go with a possible Madison Bumgarner if they win tonight in Game 5 at Wrigley against John Lester? Cubs I don't think have lost 3 in a row since July. They lose one yesterday. It's not the end of the world. So I think and even if they lose tonight, I still think you got to back Lester. But I'm not sure with that. But anyway, tonight, I think the Dodgers get a win over the Nationals and Ross, because Ross don't have any real playoff experience. And I think Kershaw and the Dodgers send this one to Game 5. Then on the other side, you got the Cubs tonight an hour earlier. 7:30 Central on Fox Sports 1. It's going to be John Lackey going up against Matt Moore. Matt Moore, I don't think he has much playoff experience. I don't think any lineups have been announced yet. See if I can get them here if they are announced. But here's John Lackey. Of course, he came here the same saying, I didn't come here to get a haircut. I came here to win jewelry or buy jewelry or whatever he said. So, he knows, and he's been in these situations, and I'm like, well, what is this? And I brought it up on today's edition of To Be Announced with me and Tony. If you watch Ringside Reporter, have me on Facebook. I did do a Facebook Live thing every Tuesday. And I wanted to know his playoff record. Well, his postseason in 2002, that's when the Angels won the World Series. He had a win in the ALDS, only pitched 3 innings, he did not start that one. He started a game in the ALCS against the Twins and won one against the Giants. Then in 2005, won in the ALDS against the Yankees and lost in the ALCS to the White Sox, who eventually won it. He went 2007, lost in the ALDS. 2008, lost in the ALDS, both years to Boston with the Angels. 2009, won against Boston in the DS. And in the CS, he lost in 2009 to the Yankees. 2013 with Boston, which I believe is the year they won the World Series. He won in the DS over the Tampa Bay Rays. And the CS against Detroit. Won in the World Series against St. Louis. Or did St. Louis win that World Series? No, I think Boston did. 2014 with St. Louis. Won in the DS against the Dodgers. Lost in the CS to the Giants. Which that scares me right there. He pitched 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned. And then he lost in the DS last year. So he has not. His last DS was he won against the Dodgers. And then he lost to the Cubs last year. It says L, but I think he won that game. I know he pitched. I thought he pitched the game against Kyle Hendricks in Game 2. but apparently he only pitched one game. But so his postseason record isn't terrible. He's had 6 ALDS in 8 years, 15 series. He went 8-5 with a 3.11 ERA, a 6.15 winning percentage. That's 6 ALDSs, which is going to be today, and 6 starts in the ALDS. He's 2-2. 8 games, 7 started. And he's had 1 no decision in the NLCS. He's had 2 NLDS. He's 2-0. So, we'll see. I think I was listening to ESPN 1000, and one guy said that he thinks this could be his best start of the season. He lives for this stuff. He said he wanted to come here and win it. You want a veteran on the mound. Now, on the other side, you got Matt Moore. I don't know if he has playoff experience. I love Baseball Reference. Trying to figure out here what Matt Moore does, but he's a lefty. He has the opportunity to get the job done, but can he step up and be able to do it? Again, it is his crowd, which is going to be an advantage. But can he do it against, a lineup that's going to be hungry? And Rizzo needs to do something tonight. Let's see here. Standard pitching. He has had 2 postseason games in 2011, lost to the Rangers, and lost in the ALDS to the Rays, or obviously the Boston. Had a 9.95 ERA in that game. So again, he hasn't got a career win in the regular season. Now he's 1-1. He had a win against Texas. So, hopefully, he had 2 games in the DS. He went 1-0 against Texas. And he had 1 start and 2 appearances against the Red Sox in 2013 and lost. So, we'll see how that one goes. Trying to see if any lineups have been announced yet for the Cubs Giants tonight. I don't know what's going on here. We got 2 minutes left. But, so I think I say the Dodgers win tonight. I think they get it. And then I think you have I think you get I think it's going to be a good game tonight. I don't think it's over. I don't know. It's going to be tough to see what happens. But, again, it's Lackey against Moore. No. Cubs have announced their lineup. Here it is quickly. How much time do I have left? I have a little over a minute. We're going to go fast with this. Fowler leading off in center, Bryan at third, Rizzo at first, Zobrist in left, Russell at short, Hayward in right, Baez at second, Ross is catching good. That's what I like to see in Lackey. He's going for the kill tonight. I say Cubs win and finish this series off. 13-12 with a 408. I think I got Cubs tonight. I think they win it, and if they don't, then we go to Game 5, and it'll be interesting. But my prediction tonight, I think Cubs win it. I think the Ross thing sold me. Everyone, enjoy the game. Let's get a Cub victory. If not, we'll socialize and try to figure this out and get ready for a Game 5 in Chicago on Friday or on Thursday. So that will be fun. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Love you all. We'll be back tomorrow to recap all the 2 playoff games, Games 4. Possibly there'll be a Game 5 and also preview some Blackhawk hockey. I'm Ryan Young saying thank you for listening and have a great day, Chicago.